Hey babe, it's your weekly voice message. I've had a rather complicated week. Not that I've done many things, but mood-wise, mental health-wise, it wasn't good. It actually started 2 weeks ago, over the weekend. I didn't tell you then because, I didn't want you to worry too much, but I spent most of my weekend in bed, feeling really down. And when I'm feeling down like that, I just isolate. I stay alone at home. I stay in bed and I put some YouTube videos on to have a background noise, to have something to focus on and not let my mind go crazy. So that's what I did all weekend. And then the following week, I did my best to get out of bed, take care of myself. I saw some friends, so I thought I was doing better. But then the weekend that followed that, I was really down again. And that time it was over really something so stupid. I was feeling okay. I decided to treat myself and order some junk food from a fast food place that I like, fried chicken or something like that. And it was going to be my lazy Saturday night meal, And I was excited about that. It was just like a little cheat day type of thing. Just some really unhealthy food, but food that makes me feel good and happy mostly. So I ordered that. But then when the driver got here, the delivery guy, he didn't have my order. He had another order that wasn't mine, and he told me that he left my order to the previous customer. And so he was there in front of my place with that other customer's order. So he told me he would go back and he would be there in like 10 minutes. So I was like, okay. I already didn't like this situation because it happened to me once when I was with friends and we ordered something. And that day we were the other customer in this scenario. We got somebody else's order, so we opened it up, so it wasn't for us, closed it back. And we went on the app to tell the customer service or whatever that we didn't get the right order. And then the driver came back and we gave him the order and we got ours. And that's it. That was done. But this time I was the one with no food. So he left. I went back home. And after maybe 15 minutes, he came back. So I went outside to meet him, and he had a paper bag with 2 small paper bags in there. I had ordered chicken tenders and I think a corn cob or something. The one thing nobody orders, clearly, but I don't know, I like it. And some fries. And I think I had ordered like a Coke Zero or something. But he only had like 2 small paper bags. That was probably the corn cob and maybe some fries, not even sure. Probably not all of it because it seems really light and small. So he showed me this. And I mean, I didn't want that. I wasn't going to take paper bags that had been opened, clearly opened, and eaten from. And plus, that was not even half of my order. That was the sides. I had nothing to eat there. And I paid money for this. So I told him to just keep it or throw it away if he wanted it. And that I'll find a way to, get my money back, get a refund. He kindly offered me to write down my order to go, so he could go back to the restaurant, order not from the app, right? He wanted just to order the food for me and bring it back. But I mean, come on, I couldn't let that happen. The guy is delivering food on his scooter. It's a terrible job. People are poorly paid. Plus, with the price of gas, it's just I was like, nah. I told him, nah, dude, just keep the food. I'll write it down as delivered or whatever, and go on with your day. It's not worth it. And I went back home. And then I cried my eyes out. And I felt like shit all weekend because of it. I tried to get a refund, but at first the app, I'm not gonna name it, but it's the most famous one. They wouldn't give me a refund because I had notified the delivery as delivered, right? Because I clicked on my order was not delivered. But then when I tried to click on I got the wrong item in my order, they told me that I already complained about that one order and I couldn't do it again. So I thought, well, there it is. I got shat on by life. I was too kind to the delivery guy, and now I can just sit and face the fact that I lost 32 euros, or I don't know how much, on food that I won't ever get. So I did the only other thing that I could do from delivering app. I notified that there was an incident with my delivery. Those are usually for very important stuff, like, I don't know, like the delivery guy attacked you, or there was, I don't know, like a band-aid in your burger, or really big things, sanitary issues or violence, things like that. But I guess there was a sanitary issue with my order because some people that I don't know of opened it and ate from it, so of course I wouldn't accept that. So I told them all that, and I went to sleep without eating, not because I didn't have any food. I had food in my kitchen, but I was mad and I didn't want to cook, and I was supposed to eat fried chicken that night, and I didn't get any, so I did what I do best, sulking like a child, and I went to bed crying. And in the morning I woke up to an email telling me that they could not refund me because I didn't have any pictures of the food. So I cried again. And I sent back an email telling them the whole situation once again, and how it is not fair that I get to lose my money over a mistake that wasn't mine, and that it was not sanitary for me to accept the food anyway, and so that it made no sense. So I was supposed to accept food that I didn't know who touched it or bite or spit on it or whatever, accept it just to take pictures of it, and then to throw it in the trash. It's just so dumb. So I told them that, and they finally agreed to give me a refund only because they said that I'm a good customer. I don't know what that says about me and my food habits, but I did get my refund, so that's the end of that story. But my mood was just ruined at this point. And so the following week, again, I had a rough week because I just realized that my mental health is so fragile that the minor little incident can just ruin it and make me go to bed and stay in there crying and thinking that life is not worth living and getting to a really dark place just over fried chicken, right? It's dumb. And in the end, I got my money back and I was kind to the delivery guy who got a complicated job to do, and I guess I realize I'm not a bad person, and yet everything seems so complicated and hard, and just sometimes I just wish things were simpler. And they're hard for me because of how sick I am and all that, so it's not like it's my fault, it's my brain chemistry or something. But it did bring me down the whole week to think that life wasn't worth living without fried chicken. Yeah, that's the moral of the story. But anyway, yeah, so I've had 2 weeks that were not great at all. And now I'm doing better. I spent a few days at my parents' because, well, I wasn't feeling good. And I told my mom, and she told me that I shouldn't be alone. So she wanted me to get back home. And she's right, you know. When you're feeling like this, it's not good to be alone. Even though you feel like you want to be alone and you want to sit in your sadness and be miserable in bed and have nobody around and just sit in this, and it's not good. I know I do that. I know most people, depressed people do that. It's clearly not the solution. So yeah, I spent time with my parents. We played board games and they cooked things for me, so I didn't have to worry about that. And I took a hot bath because I don't have a bathtub at my place, but my parents have one. I took naps with the cat, and yeah, and now I'm back home and I'm feeling okay. I know that there's still this sadness in me. It's not like spending a few days with my parents fixed me, but I feel better, so I can carry on. And yeah, I kept that from you in the past 2 weeks because, well, I tend to turn away from people in those moments, and I didn't want to worry you about all that. I always fear that I'm kind of a burden for people. So yeah, that's my 2 weeks and my little food delivery incident. Crying over fried chicken. I hope your week was better than mine. And if you're feeling down, I hope that you can remember this little story of how I cried because I didn't get my fried chicken, and realize that sometimes we make a big deal out of very small things, and that in a great big scheme of things, fried chicken isn't much. 30 euros isn't much, and being kind to other people is the most important thing. But being kind to people doesn't mean being a people pleaser and never getting your way. That I have to remember as well, because sometimes I tend to mistake the two. So, yeah, that's your little reminder. Take care. Love you. Bye.